I'm just going to go use a base body that you guys have access to. So if we go over here to Tools, you're going to have a NIC-Z. Here's a Legacy NIC-Z. If you're going to use this one, you're going to have to. The only reason I'm not going to use the Legacy one is because he has a wiener, and I don't want to get flagged by YouTube for inappropriate content, because I have before. So what I'm going to do is go over here to this NIC-Z humanoid and drag him out, and he's been Ken-dollified. So what we can do is we can start out with like a base mesh like this, and then we can go over here to say open up our subtool menu, open up our geometry menu. This is where I spend most of my time, and of course my custom menu, which you can find on my Gumroad and ZBrush page under the Intro to ZBrush files. So we made a pair of pants, and now let's go ahead and really quickly make this shirt and also do this webbing. And again, this is just really quick. It's nothing super fantastic, but we can certainly make some headway there. So what we can do is, let's say this thing was divided up and he actually had detail. So one thing you can do as you're dividing up and you want to refine is you can go through here and you can use your, I like to use Damien Standard just to kind of dig in where I want details to go. And then I'll use my clay brush to kind of build up the muscle around that and between those two, and then I'll also drop in my standard brush. I'll increase my Z intensity a bit, and then also I like, by default, the standard brush has a lazy radius of 1. We talked yesterday about how to save off a variation of brushes and where to put them, or if you want to save over the defaults, where to put those. But the lazy radius here, I'm going to crank up so at least I know it's on, and then I can tap L to turn it off, and then I can just do a little bit quicker sculpting. So I'll go through here, and I'll use my Damien Standard and standard brush to kind of dig in where I want to have details. So like the brachioradialis, I can kind of dig in a little bit, and that little sinus right here that's in between the pec and the deltoid, I can dig in. And if I want to increase the separation along the sternal side of the pec, I can, and I can put some striations in there, so I can just kind of detail this out. I can dig in, and then I can go in here to my clay brush, and then I can kind of build up. You don't have to use a clay brush. You can use clay buildup if you're doing a little bit heavier. You can use the standard brush if you want. And there, you can just kind of do that. And then as we're subdividing, we're always able to go, and then we just kind of refine from here. Refine from here, so we can go through here and we can kind of, again, just keep digging in where we want separation, where we want a little bit more contrast. And it's just a clay brush, and I'm using hotkeys, so anything I use, I want to switch between, and I use all the time, like every 5 minutes, it gets a hotkey in the interface. Assigning a hotkey in the interface is simply holding down Control-Alt, and you can tap, and it says press any key combination. So if I do like Alt, let's see, something I never use, Alt-8, I can assign Alt-8 to the color menu, or I can assign Alt-8 to twist. Oh, that's a bad example. Assign Alt-8 to turning on surface noise for my brush. Anything in the ZBrush interface you can pretty much assign a hotkey to. But anyway, so that's kind of just going through and refining organic meshes like this. Now, you also generally, unlike clothing, which we talked about yesterday, when I'm doing, refining organic stuff like creatures and muscularity on objects here, I like to work like I'm sketching. I'll start low and get my forms perfect, and then I'll go up one subdivision, continue to refine, go up another subdivision, continue to refine, and that way the mesh is more predictable, and it also, I don't spend a lot of time smoothing